This is the video review for the downsized, Voyager-sized Zetren from Carbot. And here's a size comparison. He's about 8 inches tall. And this is an official Carbot figure, but he's a Chinese edition. And I think it's a good move to make these figures a little bit smaller so they scale better with other figures. And there's actually a trademark stamp here, which is very difficult to see, that says 2020 Choi Rock. So this is a newer figure. And there are some changes from the full-size figure. So one thing is that this figure is about 5.2 ounces. And the full-size figure from Korea is 11.3. So he's significantly heavier. You can definitely tell the difference in hand. Another difference is the full-size figure has a dedicated knee joint on a somewhat soft ratchet. It also has an additional transformation joint where this leg panel folds in to lock in this hinge. And then it also has this button on the back which automatically opens the chest and folds up the head. So the downscaled version does not have a knee joint, it just has a swivel here. The swivel on the full-size version is actually in the thigh, in the upper thigh right here. And then instead of having a knee joint, this is all hollow. There's no transformation joint on the side of the leg, and this is actually the knee joint now. And then there's no button in the back, you just have to manually open the chest panels, and then the head is on a yellow joint that clicks forward and backward. Another change is that these eyes don't have light piping, where the original eyes do have light piping. I had to put a white paper in there because you can't really see it, but you can see the translucent plastic on the back of the head. And then there's also translucent plastic in the headlights and also in the tail lights, whereas this downscaled version does not have any of those pieces of translucent plastic. Another difference is on the downscaled version, the paint is a little bit sloppier than the original. And then you can see the biceps are a totally different color, and so is the neck joint. That's basically all for the differences, and transformation is really simple. You just fold the head up, close the chest, and then you fold up the elbows and rotate the arms into the shoulder panels. And then you rotate the legs inward, fold up the ankles, and then these just fold around all the way to cover up the torso, and then they sandwich together. And then finally you take the shoulder panels and just rotate those and clip those together to complete the front of the car. And then these door panels close off the side of the car. Very simple. And then the weapon, this rod, pegs into the back of the figure or the bottom of the car. And it's that simple. And here's a size comparison of the different cars. So you can see it's significantly smaller. It's still too large to scale with standard Transformer size figures, but I think it's a step in the right direction. The vehicle mode is pretty cool. I'd probably rate it a 6. The colors are really nice, but the shape of the car is kind of basic. I forgot the articulation. It's the same as the deluxe figure. You have 360 on the head here, 360 on the shoulder, and then you have some in and out. You do not have bicep swivel, which is typical of Korean toys. You have a soft ratchet on the elbows, and then you do have good outward motion. And then you do have an outward kick on the hips, and this is one place where this downscale figure is definitely weaker than the original, is these joints are very weak. This leg holds okay, but this leg just doesn't hold worth anything. And then you have a good forward, good backward, and then more than 90 on the knee because that's part of the transformation. And then a pivot on the ankle forward and backward only. So pretty good articulation, and because of his body shape, he has a huge range of motion. Robot mode is really good. I'd probably rate it like an 8. It's a really interesting looking figure. It's very stylistic, and it's something like a magician or an ancient Chinese or Korean advisor. And then for the fun of it, the figure is really quite fun and simple. There's nothing extra to it. So I'd probably say, just for fun factor, transforming it is probably a 7. It's a little basic, but it is fun to transform when it's just sitting on your desk. I got mine at Sir Toys. It was about $20. That's compared to the original figure, which is about $80 on eBay. So it's actually a really good deal, considering you get a slightly downscaled version at a quarter of the price. So that's something to take into consideration too. And I'll leave the link so you can buy your own in the description.